Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Senior News Editor with Retail Insider. Joining me today is George Minakakis, who is Principal of the Inception Retail Group. Thanks for joining us, George.
Pleasure to be here.
Well, we had some big news the other day with the closure of 11 BonLook stores across Canada, mostly in Western Canada. Tell me a little bit about 11 out of 35 stores it had. Tell me a little bit of your take on this, of why you saw that taking place in the industry.
Well, you know what? A third of a store count for any brand is a lot. Is a lot,
Yeah.
right? But FYI, Doctors owns it, and I'm sure they're probably. My first take was you're probably rationalizing store counts because you're competing against yourself, or stores are not performing. Something's changed in the marketplace. You know, that sort of stuff. It does happen, and it happens in acquisitions too. So it's not earth-shattering, but look, a third of the stores is when you close 10%, 5% of stores, it happens. But a third of the stores is something that catches you, and Canada's not a big country,
Mm-hmm.
so when you have 35 stores, 11 provinces or territories and everything, and all of a sudden you got something like this happening. It's news.
Yeah.
It's, particularly in this category, it's news.
Okay, let's talk about the market in general. Now, as you know, George, I'm based in Calgary, and I remember several months ago when Specsavers entered the market here at CF Market Mall, and I remember doing an interview over there, and I walked around that mall, and I couldn't believe how many eyewear, eye care places were in the mall, and then I discovered that's not an anomaly. It's like that in a lot of different places. Is that market oversaturated?
Um, Not really. Actually, let me just put it this way. It is a very fragmented market, which means that there are a ton of independents still out there. So what you're seeing is small and mid-sized and large-sized chains in malls. And the question is, gee, how come so many?
Yeah.
Right? Which is your question. And everybody else's. Well, it just so happens that this is one of the best kept retail secrets in the world. It happens to be one of the most profitable optical retail businesses that you can imagine.
Wow.
Some of them have 60 to 80% gross margins, right? Most retailers would kill for that. And it's not unheard of. Plus, what you end up having is you're in an industry where there's a predictable purchase cycle, right? So it averages about every 24 to 30 months, consumers are back out there buying product. So it's great, right? It's reliable. Then it's also resilient and resistant to recessions,
Hmm.
right? It's one of the most recession-proof categories in the world.
Yeah.
And there are billions of dollars being made every year in this category globally, from Japan and China to the US, you name it. Everybody wears eyewear. And I'll tell you something, Mario, over the number of years that I spent in this category and consulting as well. And I want to tell your viewers, I don't just consult in eyewear, but the people who reach out to me
Yeah.
are private equity firms. They want to know, okay, how do you get into this? What does it mean? What does it cost? But I'll tell you something. It was in a time when contact lenses were going to kill the industry,
Yeah.
right? Well, it didn't. There was a time that LASIK surgery was going to kill the industry. It didn't. And you know why? Because these things here, um, although they are considered a medical device, they are actually a fashion statement.
True.
And this is a fashion industry, right? And you do extremely well in it because you have fashion, you have function, medical function as well. You're providing medical
Yeah.
services in this environment. It's a very complex retail industry. Not everybody can get into it. A lot of consultants who try to jump in and help the retail category, this retail category specifically, struggle with it because it's too complex,
Mm.
right? Somebody will tell you, well, they only have one product on the wall. It's glasses. No, it's more than that, right? It's your lifestyle that's
Yeah.
on that wall, right?
Your
And
personality too, right?
Absolutely. It's everything. Because you could be a golfer. Look, I've watched people walk into stores who'd say, I need 5 pair. And it's amazing because I need 2 pairs for it because I go golfing. I need a regular without prescription. I want prescription without sun. I want one sun, and then I want a pair of readers, and then I want this. Multiple uses. So it's not uncommon for somebody to walk out with 2 or 3 pairs. So the category is very attractive. And now all of a sudden, like you said, Specsavers has entered the marketplace. And the marketplace, Canada, I'm going to put it very politely, Canada has been very benign competitively for the last decade. Meaning you've had some consolidation, and everybody's been playing pretty fair with one another. They've got these large retailers, optical retailers doing well in their own spaces. They may have multiple brands, so it's safe. Now Specsavers comes in, who has a reputation of being very competitive, very attractive to consumers. They have amazing marketing content that they put out. They've had award-winning marketing commercials that have done extremely well. And they have a reputation of trust. They are able to attract staff from competitors, doctors from competitors to come and join them. So now all of a sudden you've gone from a very benign marketplace to a very active marketplace, very competitively active. And even out here on Ontario, I visited last week. I was in 5 different malls. All 5 of them had the storefronts boxed up, Specsavers coming soon. And yes, in those malls too, there are other players, just like you saw yourself. So the game is about to change. It's going to become very competitive. And I'll tell you what, if I've been involved in a number of different level of opportunities outside of the corporate world, within eyewear, and I can tell you that everybody's anxious to better understand what they should be doing next. My personal belief is that whatever strategies you think you've got on the table, they're not good enough. Because everybody else in the past, wherever Specsavers has gone, has done everything that you're about to do. But in Australia, Mario, they gained 40% market share within a couple of years. 40%. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
So can you imagine if that happens here? Well, if you want to win, you're going to have to change your tactics.
So what is it? What is the bottom line? Does it come down for a consumer, with all these options, right? Out there in the market, what does it come down to? The price as always? Or?
Sure. Let's put that into perspective. So you and I both know that some 54% of Canadians say they live paycheck to paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Well, Specsavers is a huge attractive offer to them, right? The value proposition is very attractive because it's 2 pairs for a single price. You can upgrade as well, but it's an attractive offer. And when you're living paycheck to paycheck or tight budgets, it's there. Now, the other side of the coin is, what happens to that other 46%? Well, let's forget the top 10% of income earners. They're going to go wherever they want and wherever they want. But that other 34% that's out there, they too are going to find Specsavers attractive because Specsavers, while they may not carry a ton of fashion brands, right? You're not going to find Chanel in there, right? You may not find Ray-Ban in there, but what you will probably find is some brands that are house brands and they're attractive. So it becomes you have styles that are similar, but in a price range that you can afford.
Yeah.
So yes, price is going to play a big deal in this. Consumers are always believed that they've been paying a lot for everything, not just eyewear. And when you have a fresh new operator who has a different value proposition and it comes across as being affordable and one-stop shopping. There's an optometrist in a place, there's an optician in a place, right? And they're able to serve and sell you. And they're not alone. I mean, there's LensCrafters has done that over the years as well. FYI does that also. New Look does that. So there are players out there that have the similar offers, but their price position is different. And that's where it's going to be challenging. And the biggest challenge for a lot of retailers, optical retailers, is can you hang on and sustain loyalty? Right?
Yeah.
I find in this category, it's very hard. It's very
Interesting.
hard.
Yeah.
But I think now that you've gone from benign, fair, and even placed competitive marketplace to a very more volatile one, that changes the game.
Oh, wonderful. Anything else, George, that you're noticing in that eye care, eyewear industry?
Well, look, you know what? Fashion is always going to be key, right? People love to look good, in their glasses. And I think that if optical retailers want to do something smart about this, they're going to have to reposition themselves. Because once you go down that path of price, by the way, Mario,
Yeah.
it's like an addiction, right? You can't get out.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to find your way into winning the minds and hearts of consumers to convince them that your brand is the right brand.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks, George, for joining us today.
Pleasure. Thank you.
All right, that was George Minakakis, who is principal of Inception Retail Group. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, senior news editor at Retail Insider. Thanks for joining us today.